Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then welcome. My name's Christina, and on my channel we talk all things beauty from my own experiences. So before you go, make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave any comments that you have for me down below. Hi guys, so in my recent declutter lip video, I talked about some of my lip balms, my squeezy tube lip balms, and I asked you guys if you wanted to see a video on them, and there was a lot of you that said yes to that. So today we're going to be talking about all of my squeezy tube lip balms, the tinted ones, the non-tinted ones. I'm going to give you guys all of the facts, like all of the specs on each one, comparing them to one another. We're going to talk about opacity when it comes to the tint, the thickness, the longevity, the moisture level, literally anything that you can think of when it comes to a lip balm we're going to be covering today. Hopefully this video serves as kind of like a one and done video where you can come here and compare all of these lip balms to one another and kind of decide what your next purchase is going to be when it comes to your lip balm. Now, of course, there are like stick lip balms, there are liquid lip balms, glossy balms, all of those things, but we are not going to be covering those today. But if you're interested in seeing the information on these lip balms today, then let's get started. So all of the lip balms that we're going to be covering today are going to be the e.l.f. Squeeze Me Lip Balms, the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balms, the Naturium Phyto-glow Lip Balms, the Rhode Peptide Lip Treatments, the Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment, and the Persona DayMask Peptide Lip Balms, and the LANEIGE Glowy Lip Balms. I have all of them except for the LANEIGE ones with me right now. I'm pretty sure that I have a couple of LANEIGE Glowy Lip Balms floating around somewhere in my home, but I couldn't find them. But I have a lot of experience with that lip balm, so I think I can kind of talk about them off the top of my head. I will be putting chapters here on this video, so if you want to skip around and see specific categories or topics when it comes to these, then feel free to do so. Just to preface, these lip balms, I love all of them. I reach for all of them constantly. I have these all on an infinite rotation all the time. I do have some other lip balms that are like clear lip balms that I use, but I don't really want to talk about them in this video. I feel like this information with the tinted ones are what you guys kind of want to see more of, but I will put in the description box down below the other ones that I use pretty often and that I really love. All right, so let's start off with the range slash options. This is going to be the color range, the scent range, the flavor range, all of the options, and we're going to go from least to most options here. Starting off, we have the Persona DayMask Peptide Lip Balms. These come in 3 different shades, one of them being clear. I do have both of the tinted ones. They are in the shades Pomegranate and June. Pomegranate is going to be more of your sheer red shade here, and then June is going to be more of a pinky nude type of shade. And tied with 3 options, we do have the Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatments. I do own all 3 of them. One of them is clear, which will be the original hydrating peptide lip treatment. It does have like a yellow tint to it when it comes out of the tube. However, for all intents and purposes, it is a clear lip treatment. And then we also have Cocoa Cream, which is going to be more of a reddish brown sheer tint. And we have Strawberry Sorbet, which is going to be a milky strawberry shade. Next, we do have another tie. We have the e.l.f. lip balms as well as the Tower 28 lip balms coming in at 5 different shades. However, Tower 28 just came out with a limited edition confetti cake lip balm for their 5th birthday. I don't believe that that is permanent, but technically right now they do have 6 shades out. I think their permanent line has 5, so that's kind of why I'm tying them right now. The e.l.f. lip balms do not have any type of tint to them. All 5 of them are going to be clear, but the range is different because of the scents or flavors. If you like to say that they're flavored, not scented, well, they're both. You know, but the e.l.f. lip balm range differs because of the different scents and flavors that they have. So I have honeydew, strawberry, and grape. These are amazing. And if you guys don't know, these are supposed to be e.l.f.'s version of the LANEIGE Lip Glowy Balms. So you're going to see a lot of similarities here. Like I mentioned, Tower 28 does have tinted lip balms. They do have one clear one, which is going to be SOS Vanilla. And the rest of them are going to be tinted based on their tubes right here. So they're all sheer tints, but they all kind of look like what they look like here in the tube. Next, we have the Rhode Peptide Lip Treatments. These are the tinted ones, and this one is interesting. I wasn't necessarily sure how to navigate this one, but we do have the Rhode Peptide lip treatments. Those were the original ones that they came out with before coming out with the tinted ones. They do have 4 tinted lip balms, and they also have 4 clear lip balms, but those all differ because of their different scents and flavors. So in total, they have 8, but when it comes to the tinted lip balms, they have 4. Summer Fridays is next in line. They do have 8, except I just recently found out that they made iced coffee permanent, so I guess technically they have 9 now. 2 of those are clear, which are Sweet Mint and Vanilla Beige. I have both of those. Vanilla Beige right here, and Sweet Mint is actually in my purse in my room currently, but I own 6 different ones. Coming in at the largest range, and by far the largest, is going to be Naturium phyto-glow lip balms. These come in 13 different shades, with one of them being a clear option. I think initially they had 4 or 5 different scents, tints, flavors, and then they came out last year with 2 different collections. They came out with a collection in the summertime, which were more like pink, fun, corally colors, and then they came out with their cafe collection, these right here, which are more brown tones, more neutral tones. So they definitely have a huge shade range. You will most likely find a shade in these that you really enjoy if you like the Naturium lip balm formulation. And as far as the Naturium ones go, I believe I have all of them. I don't think I have all of them here right now, but I'm pretty sure I have purchased all of them. Actually, I think I'm missing one, which is like the lightest pink one, I think. Okay, let's talk price point again, from the most inexpensive to the most expensive. The first one we have is the e.l.f. Squeeze Me Lip Balms. These come in at $4, but as you can see, just with comparison with the other lip balms, you can definitely tell that the e.l.f. Squeezy Lip Balm is a lot smaller when it comes to how much you get. You get 0.21 in the e.l.f. ones, but in most cases, like these two, you get 0.4 fluid ounces, 0.34 fluid ounces. You get 0.41 in the Persona one. So definitely like around half of all these other lip balms. Even if you were to buy 2 of these to equal one of the more standard lip balm sizes, it's still very inexpensive. $8 for 2 lip balms, I don't think is such a bad thing. Next in price point, we do have Naturium, which actually comes in at $10. So you get 13 different shades at $10. I think it's a pretty good deal. And for the most part, I actually noticed that Naturium started to fill their tubes a lot more than what they initially had. Like if you guys ever bought like their first or even second line of lip balms, they did seem to have some inconsistencies with how filled all of the tubes were. I know that a lot of people like complained that there was not a lot, and this is after just a couple uses. I want to say I don't really reach for this shade that much, so I'm confident in saying I maybe use this less than a handful of times, and this is kind of where this one lies. I think that this was released with the second collection, but I will say that with their cafe collection, these are full. Like this is not air. Most of this is definitely product. You barely have to push down to get any product coming out of this. And I think that was a big complaint for a lot of people. And I'm really glad that Naturium actually listened to their audience and started filling up the tubes a lot more. Next in price point, we do have a tie with the Rhode Lip Peptide treatments and the Tower 28 Lip Softies. Both of these come in at $16 a piece. I would say for this video, that is going to be like the mid-range of pricing when it comes to everything we're talking about today. LANEIGE does come in at $19, just a couple more dollars than the Rhode and the Tower 28 ones. Persona and Ulla Henriksen both retail for $22, and both again come in 3 different shades, one of them being clear on either side here. So I would say a little bit more of an investment when looking at purchasing these. I will say with Persona though, I believe that when you buy them like on Ulta and stuff, you can get these at a discounted price, I think. And lastly, coming in at the most expensive, we have the Summer Fridays at $24, just $2 more than the Ulla Henriksen and Persona Cosmetics ones. But when I actually look at this, the Summer Fridays ones actually have 0.5 ounces in there versus the Persona 0.41 and the Ulla Henriksen 0.4 fluid ounce. So you do get more product in here for $2 more. I don't know if that's like a huge difference, to be honest. I'm not really sure. I guess I could like do the math and see how much it is per gram. These are definitely more investments when it comes to a lip butter balm. But for me, Summer Fridays kind of symbolizes this new wave of tinted lip balms. I feel like they were one of the first ones on the market that gave us a big range of tinted lip balms again. I know back in the day there were more tinted lip balms, but I think that Summer Fridays was the most consistent and probably the most viral tinted lip balm to begin with. So I feel like they kind of set the precedent when it came to prices with new lip butter peptide balms, you know? All right, let's now talk about the different scents. I know that people are very particular with the different scents when it comes to lip products, so I wanted to cover that today with you guys. So the e.l.f. lip balms, so even though all of these are clear, the scents do vary based on their selection. So we do have the grape, honeydew, peach, strawberry, and vanilla frosting as their different scents here, and they're all named the same as what they smell like. Next, we have Naturium, and even though this is going to be the largest shade range, they do only have one scent, which is vanilla. I thought that maybe the Cafe collection was different. I thought this one was going to be more coffee-like. Like I could have sworn that these smell different than the rest of the line, but they actually all smell like vanilla, like a very warm, subtle vanilla. At first, when you apply it, because it comes out kind of thicker, I feel like you can definitely smell the vanilla a little bit more, but after a couple of minutes, maybe less than 5 minutes or so, I don't smell them anymore unless like I go like this. Do you guys do that? I do that. So the Rhode ones, when it comes to the tinted lip peptide treatments, these are all fragrance free. All the tinted ones are going to be fragrance free. However, they're clear peptide lip treatments. One of them is fragrance free and the other three are going to have a scent. They are watermelon, salted caramel, and vanilla. So those are going to be the scented options for you. Tower 28, similarly to e.l.f., they do vary in scent based on the selection. So we have watermelon, kiwi, dulce de leche, ube vanilla, blood orange vanilla, and just plain vanilla. That's going to be the SOS vanilla one. And confetti cake, which smells like funfetti. The Tower 28 ones, honestly, the scents on them, very, very strong. I would say these are definitely the strongest scented ones in my opinion. These smell like a treat when you're putting them on. They smell really, really good. My favorites are going to be ube vanilla and I think dulce de leche. And dulce de leche smells like a caramel coffee, not just caramel. Like this one kind of smells like a caramel macchiato to me. But the ube vanilla one, it smells like taro. If you guys know what taro is, these smell good. Next up, we do have LANEIGE, and again, even though these are clear, we do have different scents based on the selection that they have. So we have berry, which was their original one, sweet candy, which smells like a sweet candy, gummy bear, which after trying the e.l.f. lip balm and finding out that this one's grape and they smell exactly the same, I'm kind of like, is gummy bear grape? Because that one is actually my favorite one of the LANEIGE ones. Then we have vanilla, and their most recent additions to their line are going to be mango and blueberry. I actually went into Sephora stores like last week or 2 weeks ago and I went to smell them and I had all intentions to buy the mango one because I love a good mango scent, but it kind of was like mango candy to me, not like fresh mango, so I decided to pass on it. It did smell a little bit more like artificial mango and artificial blueberry, so just be warned about that. With the Persona lip balms, we do have an apricot scent throughout the three of them, and then with Ulla Henriksen, we do have 3 different scents for all 3 different ranges or options. We have strawberry for strawberry sorbet. It smells like a very, very ripe strawberry. I would say that this smells very similarly to an actual strawberry. It smells so good. And then we have cocoa cream, which is scented like cocoa. There's like no fuss with this one. It straight up smells like cocoa. And then we have original, which is going to be a citrus scent. This was my first one because I bought this before they had any of the different tinted ones. It smells so good. It smells like orange, but not like a sickly car freshener type of orange. Like it smells like an actual fresh juicy orange. And lastly, we have Summer Fridays. All of these smell differently as well. So for vanilla, we do have a vanilla flavor or scent. Vanilla beige is also going to be a vanilla. Poppy, which is a sweet citrus flavor. We have brown sugar, which is a brown sugar scent. Pink sugar, which is a sweet sugar. Pink sugar kind of smells like a mix of a warm sugar and cotton candy. And then we have cherry, which smells like cherry. We have sweet mint, which is such a good, like very delicate sweet mintiness. Like it's not overpowering. It's not like a spearmint or a peppermint. It is kind of like a sugary minty scent. It's so yummy. I love that one. That's my current favorite, honestly, to just like slap on. Now let's get into the tint or the opacity of all of these. I feel like this is kind of what everyone wants to know when it comes to the tinted lip balms. So I ranked these based on how little opacity and how much opacity each of these have. And I just want to preface with saying that I base this off of my experience and how much I typically apply with one application. Sure, you could build up each one and get more of a tint or less of a tint based on how much you apply, but I try to do as much as I typically wear to see how opaque it wears on myself, you know? So of course this is going to vary based on person, based on how much you actually wear. So just keep that in mind as I'm going through this list. So starting off, we're gonna go with the ones that have no tint to them, which are going to be e.l.f. and LANEIGE. Again, these are gonna be the ones that all come in clear. Rhode is going to be, for me, the sheerest one. And we are gonna talk about thickness, the way that this feels and wears on the lips next, but just talking strictly the tint and opacity, these are going to be the sheerest ones for me. Next, we do have Summer Fridays. I think that this one does have a really nice tint, a very noticeable tint on the lips. This is going to be the second sheerest lip balm for me. Again, we do have a very large shade range, and I really appreciate that each one of these, even though they are sheer, all look different on the lips. Next up, I really could not decide on this one, so I gave it pretty much a tie. Like these are 3 and 4 on our list. They are going to be Tower 28 and Naturium. And I did put on multiple of the tinted lip balms to just try to figure out which one was more opaque than the other. And honestly, I think that Naturium by like a hair, like a tiny little hair, is slightly more opaque. And the Tower 28 ones are a little bit more sheer, but for the most part, they look the same in terms of opacity on the lips. And then we have Persona. Persona is going to be very opaque on the lips, actually, based on how much I typically wear. This one, even though they only have 2 tints, I think they're pretty strong tints. I would almost categorize these as almost like a glossy balm in the sense that they give you that much tint but also the same glossy lip balmy effect, you know what I mean? And then for me, the most opaque ones are going to be the Ulla Henriksen ones, and again, even though these only have 2 different tints, they're pretty strong tints. I love that you have more of a neutral reddish brown shade, but you also get a really beautiful pink shade. And I'm really hoping that in the future they do expand. I know that during the holidays, they have released some limited edition holiday tints. I have not personally picked up any of those. I really wanted to, but again, that price point, I just knew that I loved the shades that I already had, so I decided to stick with those. But who knows, if they expand the range, I will probably pick one up. For me, I believe that tint and opacity does correlate with the thickness and the way that it feels on the lips, but not as much as thickness, feel, and longevity correlate to each other. So again, I grouped these 3 together because I felt like it all kind of fell into the same conversation, you know? So we're going to be talking thickness, and then I'm going to be talking about the actual feeling of each one on the lips, starting with the thinnest one to the thickest one on the lips. And again, this is going to be based on how much I typically wear on one application of each of the lip balms. So the thinnest one for me is going to be the Tower 28 ones. I feel like this has a very thin, sort of slippery like texture. it definitely still would feel like a lip balm when we're talking about all different categories of lip products. For instance, lipstick, lip gloss, lip balm, lip mask. This definitely, if I didn't know, like if I did a blind wear, I would categorize it as a lip balm because it does have that moisturizing, kind of slippery type of feel that you sometimes get with a squeezy tube lip balm. Now, in terms of longevity, I feel like longevity and thickness kind of equally correlate to each other, you know? So these don't wear very, very long on the lips because they are quite thin. I would say if you're eating or drinking, you would definitely have to reapply after you eat or drink, you know, which isn't a terrible thing. But when it comes to the applicator, it is not the most precise. You do have a ball tip on here with the Tower 28 Lip Softies. This little squeezy tube with that ball tip, I think is super nostalgic. I think they're fun. I think they're enjoyable. I know some people really do not like that ball tip. I would say that for me, I always have to use a mirror to apply this just to make sure that one, the actual tint is even on my lips, because again, the Tower 28 ones are kind of like mid-range when it comes to the opacity. So because of how thin it is, as well as how opaque it is, you have to kind of spread the product evenly on your lips. So I would definitely advise that you put this on using a mirror. And second to the thinnest when it comes to the way that this feels on the lips would be Summer Fridays. I actually was under the impression that Summer Fridays would rank thicker, you know, like when I actually sat down to test out all of my lip balms, I was like, Summer Fridays is going to be up there. But no, it's actually one of the more thin ones. Now, I wouldn't say that this one feels slippery by any means. I kind of feel like the lip butter balms still feel pretty thick on the lips, and they still have a very substantial feel. But when you rub your lips together, you definitely have a slight slipperiness to them, but not at all anything like a Vaseline or an Aquaphor or anything like that. You definitely have a little bit more of a plushiness to them. These are super comfortable to me, and I feel like they have the perfect sheerness with the perfect thickness. Like, I feel like sometimes, again, with the Tower 28 ones, you have to be really careful, very strategic with the way that you apply these to make sure it's even and looks good on the lips, you know? But with the Summer Fridays ones, sometimes I can put these on without even looking in a mirror and they look perfectly fine. They look even, and that pigmentation is dispersed evenly. I think a big part of that does have to do with the formulation as well as the opacity, but also I do think that the applicator does aid in how this applies on the lips. You do have a little bit of this like curve here, which slightly hugs the lips. So I feel like it doesn't allow any of the product to pool like on the tops of the lips or anywhere like on the edges. It really does like cup the actual product and swipe it onto the lips really nicely. And that silicone applicator, like I feel like they gave this a lot of thought because it almost feels like your finger. So the silicone feel of this, I think, acts sort of like your finger. So if you were to apply your lip balm and then spread it out with your fingertip, it gives that same evenness that your finger would give. I do feel like these last pretty long on the lips. I would say if I wasn't eating or drinking, I would get a couple of hours of wear of these, honestly. I've worn these to start my day after doing my skincare, and I've also worn these to bed, and I've woken up with my lips feeling really nice and moisturized, but I don't have a film of the product on whenever I wake up, you know? I just feel like my lips aren't dry at that point. I feel like this is such a good, just staple type of lip balm. If I don't really know what I want to wear, I always have one of these in my purse, so I'm constantly just reapplying these. Next up, we do have the Rhode ones. These are going to be like in the mid-range of thickness. I will be straight up with you guys, even though the Rhode lip peptide treatments are good, I don't like them that much because I feel like there's an issue with the formulation. I feel like if they fix the formulation, these would definitely rank really high on like my most used lip balms. These come out very, very gritty. I've talked about this before. They have tiny little sugar crystals in them because the formulation kind of settles as the lip balms like sit, you know? And I know what you guys are gonna say. Like, people have told me this already. You can fix that by putting these in like hot water. You just like stick the tube in hot water and it kind of melts those crystals. But here's my thing, right? The formulation shouldn't come grainy and crystallized. Like if I'm paying to buy a lip balm that's not the cheapest, like it is definitely mid-range lip balm, I don't want to get something that I'm gonna constantly have to boil. You know what I mean? Like that kind of defeats the purpose of having a lip balm that you can just throw in your purse and just have all the time. And I'm not a fan of the sensorial feel of that. I know that it's not on purpose. I really hope that they fix that going forward with their formulation. I'm not going to write these off completely, which is probably why I've held on to these for so long. I really hope that they fix that issue. But in terms of thickness, this does sit right in the middle. I feel like they definitely have more thickness than they do have opacity. These feel like an actual like lip balm treatment. I think they did a really good job with what they were going for when it came to thickness. They last pretty long on the lips. I would say they last just a little bit longer than the Summer Fridays ones if I weren't eating or drinking. But with the Summer Fridays and this one, if I would definitely have to reapply after eating and drinking. But these are pretty no fuss reapplying because they are more on the sheer side of things. So you can almost apply this and get away with wearing this just like a regular lip balm, you know? And I do like the applicator. It is quite small. So even though it doesn't have a silicone tip, even though it doesn't hug the lips or anything like that, it's small enough to where it only dispenses what you need and you're able to put this all over the lips and be good to go. Maybe give it a quick swipe with the finger, but I don't find it's necessary every time. Next in thickness, we do have the Naturium ones. I really love the way the Naturium ones work. For me, the Naturium lip balms are probably the most versatile when it comes to shade range. I mean, the price point is definitely there. You do have a really good opacity with these, and in saying that, you can apply less and get less opacity, you know, so it's very versatile in that way. And also these I feel like are not too thick, not too thin. Like they feel like a really substantial lip balm on the lips. They last quite a long time. Like I don't find myself reapplying this often at all. Even though the color will fade after a couple of hours, I still feel like that moisture sits on the lips. Like I still feel like my lips are hydrated and I don't have to reapply. Sometimes I completely forget whenever I'm wearing this as my sole lip product. I forget that I need to apply because it doesn't feel dry. Like if I reapply this, it's because I want the color again. Next, we have the Persona ones. I think that these Persona, Ula, and Elf, and LANEIGE is where we start getting to thick. You know what I mean? Like when we're talking about just the feel of a lip balm in general, if I were to describe them outside of this list, I would say that these are thick lip balms. So the Persona ones, really great opacity, very nice thickness. And I feel like if I had the clear one, I would be able to use that kind of like a night mask and still feel like I have a lot of moisture in the morning. But I feel like I would still have the actual product on my lips in the morning. So that's the difference with the Naturium one and these. When I was thinking about it, I don't really reapply these throughout the day. Like I feel like the opacity stays for the most part and the thickness and the moisture on these stay for as long as I need them to. Like it's not going to stay on my lips for a full 12 hours, but if you're looking for something that is going to give you really good pigmentation for a long amount of time, maybe you're going somewhere you don't want to bring a lip product with you, I would say that this is a pretty good lip balm for those needs. Ula Henriksen, this formulation honestly really surprised me. It's such a hard one to describe because it's runny but thick at the same time. It feels like a lip mask but also a lip balm at the same time. It's such a conundrum trying to explain these to people. I would say that these are rich, they're creamy, they're plushy, like they almost feel like a very dewy type of lip formulation, you know? And I think that the opacity on these plus that thickness, these I would say are very comparable to the wear time and the color of more of an opaque lip gloss. Like that's how long these wear on the lips, but they're not sticky by any means. And I would still say that these fall into a lip balm. So if you want something that wears similar to a lip gloss, but you don't want the stickiness and you want something that actually will hydrate the lips well beyond having it on your lips, the Ole Henriksen ones are the way to go. These are just incredible formulas. I am thoroughly obsessed with these currently, if you can't already tell. But these are definitely like veering on lip mask, lip balm for me. And then actually the most thick ones from my experience are going to be the e.l.f. and the LANEIGE one. Those are tied because again, they're kind of like duping the LANEIGE ones when it comes to e.l.f. So of course the formulation is going to be pretty similar. And I don't know if it's because these are clear, so I tend to just naturally put more of this on. I don't think that's the reason, because when I actually like swiped all of them on my arm and I was like feeling them to see what the thickness was like, these definitely felt like they had a little bit more tug. I'm trying to think of something that these are similar to that you guys may be familiar with if you haven't used these before. I honestly can't think of anything, but these are definitely ones that once you squeeze it, like it's hard to squeeze out because it is quite thick. And then once you squeeze it out of the tube, you kind of have to swipe it a couple times on your lips to get it to melt down and start to like spread across the lips, you know? And I find that's the case with the LANEIGE ones as well. We do have a very similar applicator to the LANEIGE, and it is a smaller little like angle here, so they are very easy to use. I feel like a smaller angle like this is very universal for a lot of different lip shapes and sizes. So I do enjoy this. And again, because these are clear, I don't find that the applicator is that imperative to have like the perfect applicator on these, because you can literally just squeeze it and swipe it and swipe it, and it's fine, you know? So LANEIGE and e.l.f. are definitely the thickest in my opinion. So those were all the categories that I wanted to cover. I will tell you guys right now, if you were to ask me like which one is my all-time favorite, I refuse to give you guys a straight answer, because all of these have such great characteristics to them, you know? It honestly comes down to what you're looking for. Like if you want something with the most opacity, go with Ula. But if you want something that is going to be the thickest, you don't really care for tint, go with e.l.f. or LANEIGE. If you want something that is most versatile, you want the most range, you just want to collect all the shades, go with Naturium. Like there are so many different reasons why people buy the lip balms that they buy. I just thought that maybe this video would help you guys sort of come to a more clear decision. You know what I mean? I would be happy to purchase or repurchase any of these different lip balms, whether they come out with different shades, scents, whatever it may be. I like all of them except for maybe the exception of Rhode. Actually, no. I even would purchase Rhode again if they were able to fix that formulation issue, because I do enjoy the way that they initially felt on the lips before they started getting grainy. Anyways, that was the entire video, guys. I hope you're able to take this information and kind of take it with you when you're deciding on what to purchase next when it comes to your next lip balm. So let me know in the comments down below what part of this video was the most helpful for you guys. It kind of helps me to understand what information I should kind of focus on more going forward. And also, if you guys please could like this video, share it if you want to, but definitely like it because it helps my channel a ton. It just lets the algorithm know to kind of send this video off to more people so I can help more people in their beauty endeavors, I guess. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!